Hello, friends. Welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Our first story is like the real-life version of that IT crowd episode where they wage war on stress by threatening to fire anyone who feels stressed. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Do you trust us? I've worked in IT at universities most of my career. Several years ago, I transferred to a new university to try something new. I immediately regretted it for several reasons. The entire department was under review from HR for low morale. A survey was sent to the staff to gauge morale. I learned later that the VP had been demoted because of it before I was hired. The new director barely spoke to me when hired and had her door shut for almost 3 straight days. I was asked to consider which of my staff I wanted to replace, fired, to better help with the new software implementation. Later learned that they had several lawsuits for wrongful dismissal. I had 2 staff that lived 90 minutes away that frequently asked to work from home during inclement weather. I was told to be strict about this and deny their requests. Of course, if my staff called or texted the director, she'd cave and let them. My director received a promotion, executive director, and a consultant was hired as our new director. She was a consultant with the very company whose software we were implementing. Foreshadowing. Now comes the craziness. The VP brought in a group therapist to meet with all the managers. We learned about team building and that a good team has a foundation of trust. We had several managerial meetings after this where our old director and the VP would grill the mid-level managers about trust. We were asked bluntly, who doesn't trust us? Everybody was afraid to speak up. My anxiety was now through the roof. I had to be put on medication just to help me get out the front door to go to work. I couldn't quit because I needed health insurance for my family, pre-Obamacare. They continued to berate us about how trust was key over several meetings. Who doesn't trust us? I finally raised my hand. You asked, so I'll answer you. I said, I don't trust you. I've been in meetings where you've belittled and made fun of our staff in front of vendors and clients. Who knows what's being said about me when I'm not in the room? You have unrealistic expectations and the lowest morale of any place I've worked. Trust needs to be earned. They were a bit shocked that I'd answered them. I was fired within 2 weeks. I was well liked by my colleagues, which meant that whatever trust still was out there crumbled immediately. They replaced me with a consultant from the same software company. He was fired within a month. Trust was now completely abandoned. Within the next year, 75% of my department either quit or retired. Thankfully, I'd already started interviewing for positions before being fired. I found one within 2 months and have been there for 10 years. Best job I've ever had. There's obviously some monkey business going on with that university. Sounds like it won't be much of a university soon. And our second story. I've never met such an incompetent little B-word in my entire life. I'm back with yet another tale of woe and sweet justice delivered. During this particular incident, I was on the customer side of the register and not the working side. So it was a nice sunny day in Edinburgh, and I was on my way to my little sister's workplace to drop off some lunch for her like the good big brother I am. Let's call my sister Vicky. Vicky works in a high-end clothing and house decoration shop, and I've heard many stories of the entitled snobs she deals with on a daily basis. That's the huge difference with my work and hers. I deal with shavs, thugs for anyone who doesn't know the word, and general everyday idiots. She works with rich idiots. I've never seen one of these morons before until this day. So I walk in and Vicky's all smiles and sunshine, so I imagine her shift has been a tad crappy at this point as she's more than happy to get on her lunch break and we go outside to chill on the grass and enjoy the rare bit of sunshine we're getting. So me and Vicky are chatting away when Karen walks up to the two of us and slams her bags down in front of us, giving Vicky a death stare and unleashes the following volley of verbal diarrhea at her. Vicky has her name badge off and eating, which is the universal sign in the workplace for leave me the F alone. I'm not working at this current point in time, but that doesn't stop this uppity old bat. Karen, just what do you think you're doing? Vicky, having my lunch break? Karen, you weren't having it 5 minutes ago. Vicky, in the friendliest customer service voice, yes, I was, ma'am, but I was waiting to take my break at 1:30, which was 5 minutes ago. Karen, this is ridiculous. The woman in there told me you would help me shop. At this point, I'm thinking, just what the hell is this woman's problem? It's a slightly expensive clothing store, not the bloody Ritz Hotel, but I held my tongue for the moment until she got more insulting. Vicky, if you want to go into the shop, my colleagues would be more than happy to help you find any items you're specifically after. Karen, no, this is ridiculous. I've just found the closest worker of this store to me, and you're going to refuse me service? This is absolutely horrendous service. I've never met such an incompetent little B-word in my entire life. At this point, I did my duty to stand up for my siblings because all of the children of my mom and dad were taught well with how to deal with people, but Vicky being the youngest of four and me being a good deal bigger and taller than this woman, I was not hesitant to step in. I can listen to someone be displeased with her, but the second a random hag calls her a B-word, oh, you just made a big mistake. Me. Let me just stop you right there. This nice young lady you just had the balls to insult for having her break is my sister. Let me tell you something. As a retail assistant manager myself, I would never ever talk to anyone, let alone a worker who's minding their own business the way you just talked to her. Why don't you do her and this entire business a favor and take your money elsewhere? Because they don't need the money of a spiteful old dog who has no respect for anyone. Oh God, the reaction, priceless. Karen, excuse me? Who are you to talk to me like that? Me. I'm someone who gives respect where it's deserved. Karen, you've not given me any respect. Me, because you don't deserve it. Karen, who do you work for? I'll be reporting you to the managers. Me, well, good luck with that, because I don't need to tell you anything about where I work, and I am one of the managers. Do yourself a favor and just go away. After that little ordeal, Vicky nearly hugged the life out of me, and I reported the incident to her manager, who I'm good friends with, and told her to look out for a slightly angry-looking, shriveled-up raisin. And our next story. The time I got fired. Short and sweet one for y'all. Nothing remotely as crazy as a lot of the posts here, but I get a chuckle out of it occasionally. So many years ago, I heard through a friend that a new supermarket was opening in the area and they were hiring people on to put the store together to get ready to open. I was in between jobs at the time, and a bit of a cash influx while I searched for something I wanted wouldn't be a bad thing, so I applied. And that was it. Didn't hear back, shrugged, and moved on with my life until 3 weeks later my phone rang. Didn't recognize the number, but when I have applications out, I answer every call, and it goes something like this. Me. Hello? Manager. Hello, is this OP? Me. You got him. What can I do for you? Manager. Well, this is manager from business, and I'm calling to let you know that since you no-called no-showed to the first day, we're letting you go. Me. Well, that's understandable, but I don't work for you, sir. Him. I'm sorry, what? Me. I did send in an application several weeks ago, but this is the first conversation I'm having with anyone from business. There's a short pause. Manager. Well, I'm sorry about that. Would you be interested in the job still? Me. I appreciate the interest, sir, but I'm going to have to decline. It was just goodbyes after that. So that's the time I got fired from a place that didn't hire me. Edit. It might be worth mentioning this is the same chain but different location. Did kind of the opposite to me last year too. I applied to work there, they interviewed me, offered me the job, paid for my license to work in the state. Then that was the last I heard from them. I got a much better job offer about 2 weeks since last contact from them though, so I just let it go. I guess you failed the mental telepathy test. And our last story. Chair of the HOA board occupied common area and refused to share. Condo apartment in NYC. There are 2 units on each floor, and there's a small room on each floor by the elevator. Since I bought my unit in 2018, I've always been wondering what it was for because it was locked all the time. I thought maybe it was just a machine room. Recently, the owner of the other unit on my floor selling his apartment, the guy's also the president of my HOA, with which I had numerous unpleasant experiences with. 3 weeks ago, I ran into his real estate agent when he was showing people that little room as if it was part of the apartment. This is the first time I got to see what exactly are in it. Full of junk and stuff like suitcases and boxes. I started asking around and learned that other tenants in my building have been sharing and using the same room on their floors as small storage. So I sent my neighbor an email asking if I could also use it. Oh boy, the drama began. He first said it was decided that the unit owners from each floor would figure out how the rooms were used going forward. It was documented in the board minutes. The former owner of my unit said he could take it, so he did. He can't share it with me now because it's full. He has the only key to that room. I'm more than welcome to work out a new arrangement with the next owner. So I responded. I didn't know about such an arrangement, but the situation has changed over the years as I'm the current owner and I can use some extra storage, so I want to share it with him. He can keep his stuff there until he's done with the open house. I'd love to get the only key from him to make a copy. I prefer a new arrangement with the current owner, not the next owner, as I don't want this misunderstanding and disputes to pass on to the next owners. He simply responded, "Got it." So I asked the secretary of the HOA for copies of the previous board minutes. He didn't respond, so I asked again after 2 weeks. He finally said that he needed to check the bylaws to see if he could release those documents to me. I also contacted the former owner of my unit just out of curiosity. She said the room was shared and she never said he could take it. She also didn't give me a key simply because the room wasn't locked at all. I also looked into our bylaws and declaration. That room was a compactor room and is a common element that certainly no unit owner should use exclusively if the other owners also want to use it. I followed up again today to see if I could make a copy of the key. All of a sudden, he got real mad. He refused to give me the key and said I was being rude and demanding, therefore he didn't want to work anything out with me. Since he refused to work it out with me, I wonder what other options I have. I was thinking about hiring a lawyer too, but many of my friends told me to just leave it because it would cost me so much time and money to do so. I know I can be very naive sometimes and just want justice to make things right. But is accepting this my best option? Update. I've reached out to a few attorneys in the city and tried to schedule some meetings next week. I want to get the letter sent out ASAP because who knows when he'll close the deal with his sale. Update 2. Regardless of the previous owner giving him permission to use the entire space, there being no key to give me means he put a personal lock on a shared space. The previous owner cannot give away something that belongs with the property. It sounds like this guy's trying to use his use of the space like an easement. The first thing I did was remove his lock, then put an approved lock on and gave him the key. If he thinks his property's so valuable that I can't be trusted, he's more than welcome to move it somewhere else. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.